Well, good afternoon, Rolling Hills Baptist Church. I hope you've had a blessed week in the Lord, and I'm thankful to be with you again on another installment of Encouragement Thursday. But one of the things about me, as I shared on Sunday morning, I'm kind of very optimistic and kind of energetic, and sometimes that leads me to chasing squirrels, if you will, with a lot of excitement. And there was this time when we took a spring break trip to Hilton Head, South Carolina, when I was playing tennis for Campbellsville University. We would always go down there every spring break, and we would play tennis tournaments of sorts down there on clay courts. And we were out on the beach one day at Hilton Head, and I remember there was this, it looked like, and in my mind I must have felt like that I was going to find some buried treasure or something. There was this little piece of land that was shooting out into the ocean. And I remember thinking to myself, there must be something special on that piece of land, because it just looks so different from where I'm at that I just need to get there and see what's there. And my curiosity is very intriguing sometimes, or is intrigued, and I'm like, okay, so let's make the journey there. I had no idea how far it was, but in my mind and in my heart, I felt like that whatever was there was going to bring satisfaction, because it had to be something special. So I embarked on this journey that day on the shoreline in Hilton Head, South Carolina, and it ended up taking a longer amount of time to get to this piece of land than what I was expecting. And of course, not thinking through everything, I didn't put sunscreen on or anything like that. So I'm walking in the open sun for a couple hours trying to get to this phenomenal thing that was on this piece of land shooting out into the ocean. So we walk and we walk and we walk, and finally we get to the place where we don't see the land anymore, and we're like, this must be it. Well, it turns out there was nothing there at all. It was just the beach. It just looked different from the angle that we were at. And we looked back to where we came from, only to find that now that looked like a super special spot shooting out into the water. So I say that to say this. Sometimes you and I can be guilty of chasing things, thinking that when we get there, it's going to bring satisfaction, only to find ourselves getting there and we're not satisfied at all. And in Matthew 5:6, on the Sermon on the Mount, Jesus gives us what actually is truly going to bring satisfaction. He actually gives us the thing that will bring us satisfaction in this life on this earth. And I love that about him, because he just shoots it straight to us, so that we know what we can chase after to truly find the satisfaction that we seek. On Hilton Head that day, I didn't find the satisfaction that I saw. I thought it was going to be awesome, but it really was nothing at all. And so many times that's the case. Jesus says in Matthew 5:6, he says, "Blessed are those who hunger and thirst for righteousness, for they shall be satisfied," or filled. And so Jesus tells us right there that if we will set our heart and our mind and our eyesight to pursue right living in God's eyes, that's the place that will really be satisfied. There will never be a time that we get to that place, or we become more like Jesus and we find ourselves unsatisfied. The closer that you get to Jesus is always a place of incredible satisfaction, of incredible joy, of incredible peace that passes all other understanding. But the challenge for us as people is always this: we want to chase things, but oftentimes it's always the wrong things. And Jesus says in the Sermon on the Mount, if you will hunger and thirst, if you will set your drive and desire toward right living in God's eyes, basically becoming like Christ, that's where you'll find your satisfaction. And so I want to challenge you with that today, because I know it's hard. I know life is busy, and I know there's a lot of opportunities that will try to distract us and draw our attention away. But you and I, as children of the Most High, are called to set our focus and our gaze on the Son. And as we set our focus and gaze on the Son, we pursue Christ's likeness. That's what we're called to do, to be like Jesus. He set an example of perfection, and we should strive after that. And the closer that you come to being like Christ, the more that you know Christ, the more peace, the more joy, the more satisfaction that you're going to find on your life on this earth. And so I wanted to share that with you, to challenge you, but also to let you know that this week we're going to continue on the Sermon on the Mount. So we'll be in verses 7 through 9 this week of Matthew chapter 5. So I want to encourage you and challenge you, read those first 9 verses of the Sermon on the Mount. Actually, read all of Matthew 5. Prepare your heart and mind. Pray for this weekend. And I look forward to being with you and really digging into the rest rest of the Sermon on the Mount. I hope you have a great week, and I look forward to being with you on Sunday.